All right, what's up, guys? We're back. Always Race Day podcast, the Dirt Show. We're going to have Knoxville Raceway GM Jason Reed joining us here in a few minutes. We're going to get to everything really quickly early on here. Oh, Jason's already in the studio. Nick, real quick, I'm backwards. First off, big shout out to the Wiser Properties, or Wiser Companies, for hopping on board during the Knoxville Nationals. They're still with us. We love them. The show's presented by the Wiser Companies, and I can't thank them enough. Some new stuff coming next week with those guys. Really quick, I want to give a shout out to Nick Hoffman and how well he did this weekend. And Trey Osborne picking up his first USAC non-wing win. But Hoffman, dominant. 2 World of Outlaws wins. Had a really great week in the Dirt Car Nationals altogether. Ended up taking home the Big Gator. Did you get to watch any of that, Eric, from Volusia?
I did not, but I heard Nick Hoffman pretty much dominated, and that seemed to be kind of the case.
There was 3 nights in a row where there was a video of him getting on top of the car with his kids, and I thought it was just the video from the night before every time it popped up. So I thought that was funny. Hank Davis is going full-time with High Limit. I'm excited to see that pairing. There's now 32 nationally touring to start the year, so the numbers are going to be high, but 32 national tour funded sprint car teams, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. You know, if you look like 10 or 15 years ago, I mean, you had some guys in the All-Stars, but you know, having 2 full-time national, I'll call it national TV races, I guess you want to say, for Outlaws and High Limit to be that many drivers. That's just kind of shows that the sport of sprint car racing is very, very strong and very well done.
Yeah, I'm with you. And High Limit this year, too, having those 6 nationally televised races. I think that's going to be huge, too.
Yeah.
All right, so Jason Reed is in here. Hold on. I'm going to try to – I think he's got to get his microphone or camera connected. But we will. We're going to work on that. The Lucas late model season starts tomorrow night down in Florida. Eric, what are you looking for on that? They've got no playoffs this year, full season points.
Probably just depends on what who kind of shows up. There always seems like there's kind of a surprise on who's committing to Lucas and who is running Outlaws. So I mean, you'll kind of get an idea of what the full roster is going to look like before you have the main part of the season going on.
Yeah, and we're going to find out pretty quick when they have that race night. That is it this weekend?
I think it is. They compete with each other.
So yeah, we'll see the full rosters. Who's declaring? I'll try to get something on Patreon for that for you subscribers out there. All right, now we're gonna bring it. Oh, Caleb, can we bring in Jason Reed? Is that okay, Caleb? I'm sorry. I read your message when I was mid sentence. He wanted me to introduce the hot lap. But yeah, Jason, thanks for coming on the show, man. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
All pretty good.
Fantastic. So if you guys don't know, and usually I do a grandiose introduction of our guests, and we've been moving quick this show because we went over with the pavement show, trying to do a double header, basically so Eric can watch Illinois basketball and go on dates with his girlfriend. So it's mostly for him. GM of Knoxville Raceway, and a phenomenal human being, and always gives us all the time in the world. So it's great. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on. How's the off season been treating you, and how much are you looking forward to the month of April?
The off season's been really good. Had a lot of good things going on. Got a lot of stuff accomplished at the track this fall. You know, replacing guardrail, and we're building on to the ticket office, and poured some more concrete in the parking lot. So just able to get a lot of things done. And but it's when I think I have a lot of time, it's flying by, and April will be here before we know it.
Jason, kind of something that doesn't really happen too much, but on opening night, there's a free admission to the grandstands. Was that a pretty easy decision with Craig Ford jumping on the sponsor of the night, or was that kind of a little bit of back and forth with the fair board and the racetrack on whether to proceed with that or not?
No, the fair board they were pretty on board to trying something. They've pretty much whenever I've come up with an idea or something we want to try, or someone comes on idea, they're like, "Well, let's try it and see what happens." Craig and I have been talking about this for the last couple of years. About trying to do it and see how it turned out. And then it's probably been 3 or 4 weeks ago now. I was sitting here one day and I just called him up. And I said, "Hey, we need to make this happen. Let's try it once and see what happens." So we met the next day and went through some, over some things, what we want to try, and just going to make it happen and see how it turns out. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. We'll have a good day that day. So,
yeah, hopefully it'll be a little bit nice out so we can get some people on the stands and maybe the first time at Knoxville and see a good sprint car race going on.
Right.
And I think who's your guy at the fair board? Give me his name again.
Which one? Dustin DeMoss?
Yes, DeVos. You guys have a great working relationship because I see you guys joke around with each other all the time. But on top of it, I hear horror stories from elsewhere in the dirt world of working with a fair board and how difficult it can be. It seems like none of that exists at Knoxville.
Well, no, I've heard some horror stories of other places too. But I mean, I think it helps me anyway, I guess, that I was one of those fair board guys before I got this job. So I kind of understand, where they're coming from and what their feelings are and the direction they want to go. So I think I had a good working relationship built with them before I slid into this role. So I think that's helped a lot. But no, Dustin, he's in here probably almost every day, and we do have a good time and joke. But no, a lot of people say, "How do you work for 24 people?" But they treat me really well. They kind of let me do my thing, and as long as we keep going in the right direction, they're all happy. So it works out.
It seems like suite spaces is kind of a high demand during nationals or anytime there's a big race going on. Obviously we see the all ball suite going into the turn 2 along with the Brian Clausen suite. Do you think there's any plans to the racetrack looking at adding on suite spaces, or kind of sticking with what you got?
Just built this one, Eric. We're asking for a third suite tower already.
I'm sure there's already demand for it.
Yeah, surprisingly, that comes up all the time. Matter of fact, I had 2 calls today about suites. So I mean, the problem we run into now, we either got to put them on the backstretch, which we could do, but we only use them, the grandstands part of it, a few nights a year, so that causes that, or turns 1 or 3. But then you also got them, the whole safety issue, whether when the car's coming down the front stretch or going down the back stretch, if that causes an issue. And unfortunately, the bad thing is the cost of to build the building now. Like even from, they just got the all ball tower built, and they built the Clausen tower in 18, and the price doubled, in those 6 or 7 years. So it's just, it's one of those deals where, it'd be really nice to have some more, but if you, helping out 500 people, or do you try to do some other things for all the fans and make it more people want to come here all together. So, I mean, that's kind of the things we weigh out every day. But no, I guarantee you, if it's not every week, it's every other week. There's a conversation in my office about more suites or what we got to do, because there's people calling all the time wanting them. If I said we was going to build 20 tonight, I could sell them before 9 o'clock tonight. It would be that easy, So it's a good problem to have. Also too, the demand to be there. But yeah, maybe someday we'll add on and be able to do some more.
Jason, when it comes down to the decision to add suites and how quickly you guys seem to sell out this event, I know it's a week before the race, kind of typically that you guys sell out, and that doesn't seem like too early of a sellout in normal sports, but in dirt racing, it's probably the earliest event that sells out across the country and the world. Is there any? Do you look at all at expanding the backstretch grandstands in I guess different than suites? I guess, is it a competition there, or could you theoretically do both if you wanted to with the space that's available is what I'm trying to ask. Sorry, I danced.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Question.
No, we've had that exact conversation because like when we put the suites on the front stretch, that I say we, that was before I was on the fair board or involved in it, but they added 10 more rows of bleachers and the suites. So if we did something on the backstretch, that would probably be the kind of the same concept we do. We'd add another 10 rows and then put the suites there if we decide to go across the backstretch. So yeah, that conversation does come up, and it's good we sell out Saturday night. But man, I'm working on trying to get the other 3 nights sold out too. That's what I really want to do is, and I mean, I really think what holds us back from doing that is the whole camping and parking issues. Everybody that knows that's been around, we just don't have enough space to take everybody in the hotels. There's 2 hotels in the whole town, so we're just trying to, get this everybody in town to invite people into their homes or into the camp in their yard. I think that's just a big advantage that we would have if we could then get people to come on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday also.
Kind of looking back, 5 or 10 years ago, it seemed like in the 410 or 360 classes, there really wasn't like a B main every night until you get closer to nationals. But now it seems like this past year and the year before that, there's been a B main every night. Do you think that's just been because it's Knoxville, or do you think that's because of the purse money that's been pumped into the 360 or 410 classes every night?
I think it's I mean, you could say some of it's because of Knoxville, because people want to just drop in to get laps before the nationals or a big show or just have an weekend off. But I think I hear it from a lot of drivers is the increase in the purse, and then paying a good purse, but then also the fuel program that we've been able to keep going for several years, that we're paying drivers mileage to come, here to get some diesel fuel or whatever to get down the road to the next event or get back next week. I think that's really helped too. And so we've had some local supporters that's done that for several years. And I think just a combination of both of them, the good payout and the fuel money, when you come every night, I think that's helped us out to keep that car count high.
Jason, we were talking about the free admission on the first night of the year. What's some other things that fans coming to Knoxville this year can look forward to that maybe they don't know about yet?
Yeah, we're just actually we had a meeting. I got a group that meets every Wednesday night. We had that tonight before this, and it's just basically I've just kind of told them, hey, let's do all we can this year to whatever it takes to get more new fans here, and then what can we do once they get here. So we do a pretty good job, I'd say a really good job of fan engagement at the Nationals. So I want to continue to build on that and do that. But we're actually putting together we've had a show car underneath the grandstands all year for several years for people to look at, kids to get in, whatever. But we're redoing one of those right now. We're gonna have it. We're gonna actually have set up outside the grandstands every night. Hopefully, we've redid our simulator. We're gonna have it available every night. And then I just see people that come, and I can just tell, man, that's their first night here. So just some people that can go up and talk to those people, show them what a sprint car is, and then just answer any questions they may have of where you can get tickets or where you go in and things that are going on. So that's part of what we're doing. With the 4th of July being on a Saturday this year, we're going to have some activities in the afternoons for kids. We got a local young guy that plays some music. We're going to do that in the afternoon. Just some things to for people to do, come out early in the afternoon and then stay for the races. And then it really hasn't even been announced yet, but just trying to bring back some old racers or whatever. We're going to have what we call a Legends Night. So we're going to kick that off this year. And this year we're going to bring David Hesmer 360s and Randy Smith, an old 410 driver from that race at Knoxville, and Jack Herway that used to be an announcer. He's going to help with that. So we're going to do that June 6th. We're going to have some activities in the afternoon, same with that. Kick that off, and then hopefully we'll make that a yearly tradition to do that. So just trying to do some more things to get people more involved when they get here, to actually explain to them what's going on and coordinate them, with some drivers or something, so they feel like they know somebody, when they're here. We did that the last couple of years with Iowa Lottery, worked out a deal with them, and we brought some new people in, took them into the infield, and broke them into groups and took us some drivers. They went in some trailers, looked around, met some drivers, and then it made them more apt to come back, I think. So we're just trying to do all we can there to make people feel comfortable and want to come back.
Last year it seemed like definitely an emphasis on getting the show done by 10:15, 10:30 at the latest. Whether that was shortening the post-race interview by 2 minutes or trying to get the 4:10 drivers out at a decent time for the rain main. Did you think that went well last year, or is there any improvements that you're looking to do this year to kind of make the show sure the show gets done at a decent time?
No, I think we for kind of putting a major emphasis on it last year, we made some good strides on doing that, making sure the track crews got the track ready to go, the push trucks are ready to go to get the track rolled in, and we're ready to start right on time. So I think that's a big key. And then too, just I caught some flack about the clock on the big screen, to keep that going. But I heard a lot of people tell me, well, at least now I know when I got to get in the car. Before I didn't know whether I had 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 2 minutes. And so now, we did penalize a couple guys that I still catch some grief from their car owners from doing that. But no, I think overall it was good. Everybody knew what the reason was. Just trying to. I hate seeing families leave before the feature, is gone. So yeah, we just continue to build on that a little bit this year and get a little bit better. I think it'll be good.
So all right, Jason, I've asked you about this before. You're not gonna be shocked at all when I frame this the way I'm gonna frame it. And I know that you guys, the Knoxville Nationals are scheduled. They're scheduled when they're scheduled, and that's it. You don't want to necessarily work around anybody else, but I'm sure Iowa Speedway has not. It seems like they haven't made an effort to work with you at all. But the NASCAR Cup Series race is going to be the same weekend as the 360 Nationals, same night as the Capitani Classic. Where are you guys at? Is there in the future? Do you want to work with them to try and have this not be as competing as it is, or is this kind of a happy compromise for right now? Or I guess the third option would be just right now is what it is. We'll talk about it down the line.
No, I would say I was, I guess, a year ago when the first time it happened, I was really disappointed, that's how it came out. But today, they've reached out, they said, hey, this is not the way we wanted it either, the guys from Iowa Speedway, but good. Overall, I think it's worked out all right. I've seen some people, that say, hey, I've been to Newton today, and so I came down to Knoxville tonight. So like Friday night, the 360, they raced right against that. But overall, and I heard a lot of people last year, said, well, I didn't realize Knoxville was this close until I got here. So I'm hoping this year that maybe we'll get some more people there. We've actually even tried to coordinate, some things we got working on a little bit. I remember like Brian Clausen used to run the Indy 500 and go to Kokomo, and so we're trying to even, do some of that. But we had several Cup drivers bring their whole team down on Saturday night, last year, the 360. So yeah. So I'm hoping that we can grow it a little bit and maybe build a relationship where we can get more of those guys coming down to show what we have to offer here at Knoxville.
And sorry, I misspoke a little bit there, but just the on the record quotes from, and I haven't talked to you or Eric Peterson about that in at least 6 months, I don't think. But yeah, at least a couple months before Nationals last year, before I got in that car crash, there's a different vibe. So I'm glad to hear you say that, because I'd rather see you guys work together. And I do think it works wonders. We had Chase Briscoe interview with us last year, and he came down and found my wheelchair ass in the infield. And he was nice enough to do that. And it was cool to see all the Cup teams enjoying it. I think overall we can make it into a positive thing. Yeah. And I know neither Iowa Speedway nor Knoxville wants to see NASCAR schedule a Cup race on Saturday at Nationals. So
right. Yeah. That one, I wouldn't like that, but yeah, but no, Eric, he was here probably 6 weeks ago in Knoxville, and we talked things over. No, we're working good with each other and just trying to help each other out and make the best out of what we got to deal with.
I know we have the USAC sprint cars on the schedule. Is there any chance there might be a Silver Crown race on the schedule in the near future? Has that been discussed at all?
Oh, that's been discussed. Yeah, it's been brought up several times, but
I have a feeling I know who brought it up too.
it just hasn't worked out for their schedule, and then us too. Like, where do you even put it in at? Do we, unless it would be like a September race or something. It just don't. I don't know if it'll work. And then, unfortunately, a lot of my help at the track is all summertime help. A lot of teachers and stuff. So then I lose a lot of help once we get past the nationals. So yeah, I don't. I would not say that we would see one in the near future. No.
Jason, if it needs to happen for Silver Crown, Eric and I will volunteer, and I'll get the whole Always Race Day staff.
Okay. Well, we got some help.
You let us know, okay?
Okay, we'll do.
You were talking about complaints and grief you've gotten. I want to hear the funniest one you've gotten from a team or a fan that you're allowed to share with us. If there's anything unique that you've been nagged about from any which side.
Oh, I mean, honestly, I said that I kept some grief, but overall,
probably from me mostly, right?
Well, yeah, probably. No, overall, it's been really good. It's most of it is just good feedback. I take it as I know in my first year in this job, Wednesday night of the Nationals, I had a fan stop me like it was close to 2 a.m. Out here behind the ticket office, and they're like, "Hey, I got a complaint for you." I'm like, "Okay, what is it?" And they're like, "You can't buy anything but alcohol out here. You can't buy a bottle of water." And I'm like, "I guess you're right. You're right." So yeah, I mean, most of the stuff I've got every once in a while, you'll get a car owner or a driver that's unhappy because of a called, they got called for jumping or whatever, or they were late. The 2-minute or 3-minute clock ran out and they weren't staging yet, so they got penalized. But overall, no, it's been really pretty good. I'm always willing to listen to anybody if they'll talk sensibly, to see what they got. You can being around here every day or seeing it every day. You sometimes you look over some things, so it's good sometimes to have people tell you some things.
I know you mentioned about the USAC show being on September, possibly if that was going to happen. Has there been any talks or discussions about having like a sprint car special show in September? Usually the weather seems to be kind of pretty good, but I know you can a lot of factors in the world.
And Eric, you're really rubbing them for September.
well, it just seems like sprint car racing just shuts down come August.
I would agree. It's been talked about. Yeah. It's not talked about quite as often as the Sweets, but it is talked about quite a bit. I don't know how many years ago we did it, and everybody says once college football starts and high school football starts, but I'm kind of wanting to, let's try it once more. Let's see what happens. And so obviously it's not going to happen in 26 unless something gets thrown on that I don't know about. But yeah, I think it's have to be probably like a weekly show, I guess, with non-points because both traveling series will be on other sides of the country by that time. So yeah, I'm not saying that we won't have one. I would really like to try one again just to see, how it works out and if we really can't do it because of college football or if it'll be all right.
Yeah. Josh is along with me, says he feels like Connor gives Jason a lot of problems during the season. I try not to. Thanks, Josh. We'll get Josh down to Knoxville to meet Jason at some point. I don't work in college football anymore, so I don't have to really be as staunchly against September race. I'd love to see.
Yeah.
We ask every driver on here this question, and I know sprint car racing is so proactive in there's a committee, set to changing rules and stuff like that. If you could change one rule, Jason, about sprint car racing, what would it be? And why? And you can take someone else's idea here and shout them out if you want to. I don't know if you've thought about this question as much as someone else might have, but yeah.
Well, no, the one. I mean, I guess it is a rule that the one they addressed this year that's probably caused the most controversy is the wheel cover deal. I wish we could just figure that out completely. We're trying something new this year with the 3 bolts, but is that going to work? I just scares me to death when those come flying off, And actually, last fall I was out at Port Royal, and when the one came off, and at the Test Score 50, and grandstands full. Outside the grandstands, the fair's going on, so there's people everywhere. And that thing literally went flying right in front of my face. I was sitting up in a suite at Port Royal, but it went flying across there. And I'm like, man, when that hits somebody, I mean, in the job I'm in, if that happens at Knoxville, then I'm going to have a lot of questions to answer, if that hits somebody in the neck or the head, we're talking serious injuries. Luckily enough, I say lucky, and it's not even really lucky. And Port Royal hit the guy in the leg, but I mean, it gashed him open. He had to have stitches and stuff. So, yeah, I wish we could just get that problem figured out. Is there something we can do to them so when they do come off, there's I don't know, like NASCAR's got the roof vents, so they don't fly. What can we do to just make that so that that issue is stopped?
And can you explain what the options are kind of for the casual fan that's listening that might not have heard about it?
So now you used to be able to use Zeus buttons, and now you just got to bolt them on.
Got to be 3 bolts at least.
Yep, at least 3 bolts. And I mean, I know for a fact there's still going to be some come off, so we're gonna catch it from somebody. Look, they still come off. If you hit the wall at over 100 mile an hour, and you're going to shear some stuff off. So it's going to happen, but I think we got to really stay on trying to figure out the problem of how we get it to stop that issue from happening.
I know tire doping has been kind of a hot topic the last couple of years or so. I think this past season I can't remember what the name of the tester was, but it was at Knoxville a couple of times, I think.
Yeah.
Is that gonna show up again this year as kind of collecting more data, or is that going to be kind of implemented a little bit more into actual official tests?
Yeah, no, I mean, we had that every week at Knoxville, or not every week, but when we did have it there, we still did the official test too, So yeah, I think it's still, collecting the data of, can he, I mean, hopefully we don't find very many that are positive for tire doping, but if he says, oh, this was not good, then we take a sample and we send it in, and they prove the same thing, then it'd be on to something where we could validate it that it's good enough we can use it right here at the track. So yeah, I think it's still data collection on that right now to see how it all works out, because I mean, on those deals, I've been on part of a couple of them now where we've took wins away from people, and I know it's not good. So I want to make sure we're 100% sure that, we've actually detected something in there that's not supposed to be there before we make any decisions.
Jason, I know quite a few racers that don't necessarily trust Blue Ridge is the lab that I'm going to name drop. Labs that you have to send tires off to. In the grand scheme of everything, they don't necessarily trust that. Is this an alternative answer that could be something that also keeps it at the track on the night of the race, that we're at least not disqualifying someone a week after their win?
Yeah, but I think we're still a ways away before we can actually say, yeah, we're going to disqualify.
You got to nail down the accuracy
right
stuff.
there. Yeah, because I mean, going back to the lab, I know a lot of people criticize it or don't, think they're. But I mean, I'm telling you, when I've dealt with them, John deals with them the most, but I've been on several phone calls with them, and the way they explain it to us and show us how they got to their answers, you'd have to do a lot of persuading to me that think that they're not right, because just when you see the actual test results and it gives you the bar graph, of here's what a normal Hoosier tire does and here's what the tire that we tested does, and it all lines up. So right now I'm 100% confident in what they come up with, and so it'll be a while before we ever get to where we're not doing that at a lab, I think.
During the Nationals, it seems like the format's always brought up either during the qualifying nights or either on Hard Knocks night. Do you see any possible changes in the future of the format, or do you think the racetrack's going to decide to keep it the same?
No, I think we'll stay the same. The only thing that would even possibly, and we've not even really, I mean, we've talked about it a few times, but not even come close to doing, is if we went to split qualifying on Wednesday and Thursday night, just because the track can slow down, quite a bit from if you draw the first pill or the 50th. And so, but other than that, the format, no, I've heard some, people say that the 8 inverts, it's too much now. And, but I've had, Brad Sweet and a couple of the other, drivers tell me that, an 8 invert is hard, but that's the Knoxville National. It's supposed to be hard. So, and I mean, at the end of the day, or at the end of the week, I guess you'd say, arguably the guys that you thought were going to be there are there. Some of them might take a little longer way to get there because they didn't get out of a heat race or something like that. But no, I think to me, I'm probably a little biased, but those 8 heat races on Wednesday and Thursday are the best heat race you'll see all year anywhere. So no, as far as we want to stay with this, and I know there's the talk about 50 laps, 25 laps, 30 laps. So I can get people to argue anyway on any of those. But no, I think we'll just stay with right what we got and keep going.
Yeah, people seem like they make a fuss about it, but no matter what, it seems like the fastest car is either the winner or is probably top 3 by Saturday night. So it's going to be the person that's going to win it, probably is going to win it anyways.
Right. Yep.
And Jason, I think I told you this during Nationals last year, but I want to put it out there for everybody because I'll go down when I'm doing my pre-race interviews for the first 2 nights, especially before anyone's raced. I asked them about the inverts. Do they want 6? Do they want 10? Or do they like 8? And this year I had more 8s than it was like 75% 8 over the other 2 options. And I don't think it's ever been that high. And I think the last 4 years, I mean, one of them we saw Aaron Reitzel and David Gravel wreck in back-to-back heat races to start the night, right?
Yep.
And I think everyone's just realized like 8's kind of the perfect number. I think it's the perfect format in dirt racing. I defend it with my life. And I hate inverts, but I think the points going back rewards everybody. And it's always the fastest cars that make the A.
Yeah, and I've had several drivers tell me, if that they think 6 would be harder because then you're putting the 6 fast guys that are all really close in time together. So they said this way with the 8, at least you can sometimes if somebody gets a little crossed up or something, it kind of gives you a chance to get through there. So yeah, overall I hear from a lot more fans than I do drivers about the 8 invert, and so. Most of the drivers I talk to is like, yep, it's tough, but we'll just do it and go on. So
this is one format question I wanted clarity on because I've never asked you about this. And I don't know if it used to be a thing and it isn't anymore or not, but the 10 drivers that are locked into the B main, do they have the option to opt out after Thursday night and race on Friday and try to race into an A main spot?
No, we took that out. I don't know how many years we offered.
And they're still advantageous transferring through the B because those 4 spots are ahead of those 4 spots you're going for in the A. And I think
we've only ever had one driver try it, and so then we just ended up taking it out. Yeah. So,
is there a good story behind that, or was it relatively mundane?
The one driver tried. No, Danny Zlowski tried it. He gave up his spot, and then I think he ended up crashing on Friday night. So.
Gosh.
Yeah. So yeah. I to my knowledge, Danny Zlowski is the only one that's ever done it. So.
I think the last time I heard when High Limit was trying to schedule a race, they wanted to schedule in August. Is that still kind of the case, or have they called the last year or this year about putting the race on the schedule?
Oh, every time I run into those guys, they talk about it, and I mean, right now, and they understand it. It's just we're contract with Dirt Vision, we're with the Outlaws, and so that's just the way we are. And the other thing, and I've talked to Brad and Kyle both about this, is like, they said, the All-Stars used to race right before the Nationals, but I just don't know. I think, High Limit, it's got to be a $40-$45 ticket, and then you got 8 nights coming on. I mean, there's got to be a breaking point where fans are like, I can't pay this ticket price this many times, this short of time. So that's the other reason, that I think we could try to keep that a regular race now and got a $15 or $20 ticket, and I think it's more feasible for everybody. So no, I'm not saying there won't ever be one here, but just not this year. So.
Is there, and I don't want to put you in a bad spot here, but is there anything preventing High Limit from hosting a race there in, obviously you have outlaw races in April and June. If they wanted to come in May, is there anything preventing them? Is that part of the Dirt Vision contract?
Yeah, that's how it is right now. The contract. Yep.
Eric, you got anything else for Jason?
I think that's it. Unless you got anything else. Yeah.
I've got Jason, what would you do to see Eric back in a pro sprint at Knoxville?
We don't do that.
Oh, we might as well bring him back in a 360.
I know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, pro sprints only race about 12 times a year, so
yeah,
that's what it. But I think that's how the schedule works.
Yep, that's when we started that pro sprint class.
Yeah.
We were concerned about cars, and there were some nights we only had 18 410s, and I think it's a really good class. But yeah, with my deal of trying to get done in time, and then having the good car counts in the 360 and 410, yeah, it takes it. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that they don't. On most nights, they don't take too long, and I think it's important to try to get some new people in there, and then get some old guys that don't want to hang up yet, that they can get a still chance to race. So I think it still has its place, but yeah, sometimes it makes it pretty tough. But yeah, we take one more. We got room for Eric to get in there.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see maybe one day.
So with Always Race Day, we're working on some stuff to potentially do some post-race shows from the infield at Knoxville. And I didn't want to do this on the air, but I have questions to ask you after we get off, and I wanted to give the people something here. What's one thing you want to see at Always Race Day's coverage of Knoxville this year that maybe we haven't tapped into in the past that we could do better at? Any constructive?
I think you do good. You get it. Some driver interviews are good. You get in on some sometimes when there's some confrontations but I mean I think everything that you put out is good. It doesn't run the sport down or nothing. So no, I think you guys do a good job, and just continue what you're doing.
Oh, you're too kind, Jason. Jeez.
That's right.
That sounded like a PR answer for Connor.
It did, really. I texted that to him before we started.
That's right. He scripted it. I was looking off my phone right here what I was supposed to be reading. So
yeah, with a cooler full of Busch beer after Nationals one night, probably. That's a deal.
Well, hey, thank you to everybody that tuned into this. We're gonna have Jason on probably how's the week before the season starts? How's that sound to you?
Yeah,
I know you're busy. We'll give you 3 weeks. Frame and we'll get it fit in right there, just so people have more notice than they had today. But thanks for coming on kind of at the last minute, and I appreciate you taking the time, man.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thanks to everybody that tuned in. Jason, stay there. I got a couple questions for you.
Okay.
We'll be back next week. Dirt show Tuesday at 8:00, asphalt show Wednesday at 7. So appreciate y'all. Peace.